It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the Cedar Crest head field hockey coach, Coach Nicole Sott. How are you doing today?
Hi, Brandon. I'm doing well. It's great speaking with you. I'm excited to tell you a little bit more about myself and our program.
You know, can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to get started in coaching as a coach for field hockey?
Yeah, sure. So that's kind of a crazy story, actually. I will say I don't think I've ever been able to leave the sport for one thing. Right out of college, I started coaching voluntarily for my college program with my college head coach. And then that opened the door to some high school coaching opportunities while I was actually teaching. So I taught first grade for probably like 2 years and decided like by year two, I was not going to make it as a teacher for 35 years or whatever crazy amount of time teachers do their thing for. So I decided to go back to school to Frostburg and actually thought I was going to be a school counselor. But while I was at Frostburg and I was their GA and started college coaching, I knew like right away that I wasn't going to be a school counselor and actually went into their sports management program and haven't looked back since. So
Of course, what was that like getting to play college field hockey for two different programs, St. Francis and King College?
yeah, so I mean, both experiences were totally different, to be honest. I mean, Division One is a monster of its own, and everyone knows that. But I think at 18, there was no way to mentally prepare me for that transition of my life. And I think once I got hurt at the Division One level, I kind of just decided that this wasn't what I wanted out of my college experience. Like I wasn't getting what I wanted. And that's when I decided to transfer to a Division 3 school at King's, and I will honestly say that was the best decision I ever made. I the love of the game was brought immediately back to me from my coaches, my teammates, the entire school. So, and we had a great time playing at King's. We were pretty successful. So I don't look back at it.
As a player, what was that movement like going from Division One all the way down to Division Three?
Yeah, I think it was a little hard at first, just because I knew I always wanted to challenge myself and challenge my teammates, but I think eventually I was able to do that. I think they kind of saw me as a threat at first when I came in, instead of like looking at me as like, no, she loves field hockey and wants to play. So I think it took some time for me to really build those relationships with my teammates at Kings for them to like trust me of like I'm not here to, steal anyone's spot. I want to be a good teammate and good leader and really take the program to the next level.
What was that feeling like getting to put on both jerseys for St. Francis and King College?
Yeah, I mean, St. Francis, I think I was a nervous wreck every single time I played. Just gave me a lot of performance anxiety performing at the Division 1 level, but at Kings it felt right. I think it felt natural. I felt like I was going onto the field to just play among my teammates, and they started to trust me and build relationships, and yeah, it was a great experience.
During your field hockey college time, what were some of your biggest accomplishments on the field?
Probably my favorite memory was winning the MAC championship. I think we won, it was 2016 against FDU. And that's like a game that will forever be ingrained in my memory. Um, I know there's like games in every player and every coach that you just like remember specific moments and like specific details. So there's like parts of that game that like I'll never forget.
Of course, after your collegiate time, what was it like getting into coaching and going to your alma mater of Kings to become a grad assistant?
Yeah, it felt good. It was it was rewarding to be able to give back to a program that had given me so much. Martha Carrick, the head coach at Kings, is still one of my best friends, best mentors. So I think that experience just brought us closer together. Like it's always a little weird going from a player to a coach, especially like when some of my teammates were now looking at me at a different lens of, okay, she's not our teammate anymore, she's our coach. But I think that experience really opened my eyes to the coaching world. So
How was that experience like going from being a grad assistant to going on to the high school level to coach?
yeah. So at Kings, I think it was kind of similar to Wyoming Seminary, honestly, because Wyoming Seminary is such an elite high school program. So I think the experiences were kind of pretty similar. I'm not sure how familiar you are with Wyoming Seminary, but coaching next to Karen Klasner was pretty much like coaching next to the Karen Shelton of high school field hockey. That lady just has so many high school state championships. So coaching next to her was really an eye-opening experience on like how to build a championship culture. And I think working with some of her assistants as well, like Kim Barbacci and Margaret Carrick, Martha's sister, actually, was it was a really cool experience. All three of those coaches brought a different perspective to that program. So it was good for me to be exposed to so many different coaching styles at such a young age.
What was that experience like going back to the college level and becoming a grad assistant for Frostburg State?
Yeah, that experience was my favorite coaching experience to date, to be honest with you. Division two is great. I think it brings such a competitive energy. It's nice to have that elite level athlete that really wants to be there, but also they like are invested in their mental health and invested in like what they want out of their college experience, and division two kind of gives that balance for them to be competitive on the hockey field and also get what they want out of their time in college. So I think that experience was a lot of fun. Caitlin really trusted me a lot at Frostburg, and that kind of built my confidence to be able to go on to be a head coach. I think we're now good friends and talk pretty much every day. I can call her with any situations that pop up or anytime I just need a coach friend to talk to. So that experience really, really helped me as a professional for sure.
How was that like, obviously making that big jump from being a grad assistant for two programs to now running a program and becoming the head coach?
Yeah, it was pretty scary. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was definitely a little nervous. But I was really, really happy when I finally got the opportunity to be a head coach. I think I was more ready than I realized, but I was really happy. Our athletic director at that time and some of my colleagues currently put their trust in me to be able to kind of turn the Cedar Crest field hockey program around a little bit and get us going in the right direction.
What was that feeling like when you became the next head coach for Cedar Crest?
It was good. It was exciting. I definitely, like I said, didn't think I was ready, but I think I was more ready than I thought. And I was really happy that people trusted me and believed in me enough to take on the responsibilities, and the team trusted me. So that was the most important part.
Once you became the head coach, what were some of the things that you started doing to build the culture and rebuild the culture?
Yeah, culture is huge in collegiate programs, of course. I think our culture is finally getting to where I would like it after 2 seasons. But we follow four main values on our team, and we try to set expectations that meet those values. And it's hard because not every team values the same thing. So you really have to find like what works for your team and talk to them individually, talk to them as a team, and kind of figure out what they want out of the program and what they want out of their playing time.
In your first 2 seasons as the head coach, what are some of the biggest accomplishments you've achieved?
Yeah, I always hate this question because they're not really my accomplishments, they're my players' accomplishments. But I think my first season here, we made it to the championship, and that was honestly school history since no other team for field hockey at Cedar Crest has ever made it to the championship. So to see them be so happy, even though we didn't get the result we wanted in that game, I think just making it there for them was a big accomplishment. And I think this year, we set that goal again of, hey, we want to get back there, and this year we want to take it home, but that didn't quite happen. As you know, like things pop up all season and things can change rapidly, but I think them even making the playoffs and continuing to set that high standard of we're going to be a playoff contender every single season has been a huge culture shift and something they want to now accomplish every single year.
Of course, what was that feeling like as a coach going to the conference championship?
Really good. I won't lie to you. I was definitely a little nervous, especially since it was my first season. But I think I knew I had to keep it cool for them. So my assistant and I at the time just tried to like really play it cool. And, I think there's a lot of performance anxiety that goes into games like that. So we did our best to kind of just prepare them and calm them and reassure them that no matter what happens that game, like we're still a team and we're still really proud. So
As a head coach, what are some of your game day traditions and how do you prepare for the game day?
yeah, as a coach, I think it's just a lot of prep and planning, to be honest with you. Definitely not as a fun experience as the student athletes, but as for them, I think they really buy into game days and really buy into the excitement that comes with game days. So I want to make sure as a coach and as a coaching staff, we're providing them with whatever they want to make that game day successful. So whether that's music, lights, whatever, the whole nine, they want to make that game day fun and hype, that's what they'll get.
What was that feeling like the first time you got to step onto the field hockey field as a head coach?
It was good. I was super excited. I think the first couple games were a little bit stressful, but we played a try scrimmage first, so that kind of helped ease a little bit of the nerves because obviously scrimmages don't really count towards your record or anything crazy. So I think that was helpful to get the nerves out a little bit and get the knots out and figure out what I saw with the team and where we were at position wise and compared to other opponents. And then our first game was actually against Kings, my alma mater. So that was super fun. I love playing my college coach every year. It's just like a game I want to win so bad. And my team now knows that. But that first season, they came out and we went into overtime. We unfortunately lost in overtime, but it was a great game to really start my coaching career. And I was super proud of them for being able to compete at the level I used to compete at.
What was that feeling like, obviously, as a head coach, getting to compete against your alma mater of King's College?
It was good. Like I said, I definitely want to take her down one of these years, but I think over time we'll get there.
Who are some of the teams that you face each week in your conference?
Yeah, so in conference, our biggest rivals are Wilson College and Keystone College. But we also play Lancaster Bible College, Bryn Athyn, and Notre Dame of Maryland in conference.
What is that like, obviously, playing those teams at home versus playing them away?
Home games are definitely more fun. I think our atmosphere as a school is really great for our athletes. They're really supportive of each other, so you'll constantly see like softball players or swimmers or whoever in the stands cheering for every sport. But we also have really great coaches here who also support each team. We definitely have good parents on our team who really buy into it. You'll see the Cedar Crest dads like decked out in their t-shirts, signs all over. So it really is a great culture on home game days, but also away. Sometimes you'll get those fans who come out too.
What does the recruitment process look like for those prospective field hockey players?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is communication. So being like able to communicate with our coaching staff so that we start to build that relationship going into college. But I also think it's really important for us as a coaching staff to get out there and see you play a couple times.
As a head coach, what are some of the things that you look at in those prospective student athletes when going on the road?
I'm a big effort person, so I like to see student athletes who are running full speed to a ball or making a diving play. But I also think consistency is important. So, like, just if I see you play really good once, I want to see you play that same level of play again.
When those prospective student athletes come on an official visit, what does that look like for them?
So we try to give our recruits like the whole experience when they come to campus. So we obviously put field hockey in mind with that. So they'll meet with us as a coaching staff and kind of go over our team values, team expectations, and then as the day goes on, they'll meet with the team. Usually it's at lunch and dinner or whatever meal, sometimes snacks. Our team loves to eat. So, but outside of that, we also put academics in mind since at this level, that's like a really key opponent to where a student athlete will want to go to school. So we usually have our recruits meet with a professor in their field, but also like attend a class with one of our players to get that experience.
As a head coach, what is it like seeing those freshmen come in and get to put on that jersey for the first time?
Yeah, so this past fall was actually my first time kind of getting to experience like the whole process through and through of like, okay, I recruited these freshmen here. Let's see how they do and see like the next 4 years what it brings. So that was really exciting. My first season, I didn't quite get to experience that just because I didn't do any recruiting before season since I was hired in August. So I just hopped in and started coaching, but this year was, of course, a little different. So it was really exciting getting to kind of see them go from high school to college and see the level of play and them transition and improve throughout the season to see what their career brings for the next 4 years.
What is that like, obviously, getting to see them represent that black and gold uniform for Cedar Crest?
It's a good feeling. I think a lot of our first years are really excited for what the future brings. This year we had 5 seniors, so a lot of them really looked up to the seniors and what they brought to the team. And I think they know now that we're losing some of those seniors, that they have to kind of step it up a notch in terms of leadership and what they're bringing to the table to be able to fill those roles over the next couple years.
As a head coach, what is it like seeing your seniors go on and achieve those things at college and then go on to play professionally, whether it's for the US team or internationally?
It's really exciting. I think at this level, I'll probably not see any Olympians in my reign here, but I think seeing them go on to their professional careers is more realistic. We this past fall we'll graduate 2 nurses, so I'm excited to see what they'll do. One of our seniors was a teacher, so she's already in a school substitute teaching. So it's really exciting to see her come back and have stories and things like that. So I'm really excited to kind of start building those relationships with them outside of hockey. Like I know my relationship with my college coach is still like very dear to my heart. So I want to just make sure that outside of hockey, now that they're like real life adults, that they're still feeling supported and still feeling like they can come talk to me, and I want to know how they're doing.
As a new head coach, what is it like, obviously, seeing them come back to the university and see the program grow from when they were a player?
I think it'll be really exciting. Like I said, I don't, the first season I didn't have any seniors. So this past season was my first time actually having 5 seniors, which is a pretty significant amount, to be honest with you. Each of them are pretty dear to my heart because they're my first group of seniors, but I'm really excited for them to come back. I already started talking to our assistant coach about an alumni game and how we're going to get them back on campus and back with the team and engaged.
What are some of your future plans for the Cedar Crest field hockey program?
I would like to win a championship in the coming years for sure. I think also just continuing to build our culture. Like, I think we've come a long way since I started here, but like I told you, every year is a little bit different. You bring in different kids throughout the years, the culture is going to change, the team values are going to change. So I'm excited to see what we accomplish in years to come. And yeah.
What advice would you give those future college athletes that are looking to become college field hockey athletes?
I think hard work never pays off, or hard work always pays off. Sorry. I think like you have to be willing to put in the extra effort to be a college player. So whether that means getting to practice early or putting in the work in the off season when some of your teammates may not be, doing the little things is really, really important, especially if you want to amp your game up to the next level.
What advice would you give those freshmen that are entering freshman year of college and playing athletically?
I think freshman, I would say it's a little challenging because you want to start to think about college in the mind of a college coach, but at that age, you definitely have no idea probably what you want to do yet. So it's a little challenging to start to think about college. But I would focus mostly on hockey and building your fundamentals and starting to learn the game, like enhancing your game IQ and just getting to know your teammates as well.
What advice would you give those freshmen that are entering college and playing collegiate field hockey?
I think same message I had early, like hard work never pays off. I think at this level, like it's easy to see what athletes are putting in the work in the off season and which athletes may not be. So I guess just know that coaches kind of know more than you think. And obviously at this level, we're not supposed to know what they're doing in the off season, but I do enjoy walking by the gym and glancing in and seeing some of my athletes working hard and putting in the extra work. So just work hard and it will pay off.
What advice would you give those players that are looking to play professionally, whether it's nationally like Team USA or Canada?
I say go for it. Like if you could play at that level, then go for it. I mean, one day you're not going to be able to play anymore, and I wish now I could play still. So if you are capable of playing at that level, I say go for it.
What advice would you give those future college coaches looking to get started in coaching in college field hockey?
I think experience is huge. So, like it took me a while to build my resume enough to become a head coach, but I think if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't have known as many coaches or known as many coaching styles as I do to help me develop my own. So I think the more experience you can get from different coaches and different programs, will really help you in the long run.
What advice would you give those future head coaches looking to build their own program and build their own legacy?
I think it's important to realize mistakes are going to be made along the way. I think as a first year head coach, I was definitely like afraid to make some mistakes and wanted to be like perfect and create the perfect culture. But it takes time to really know your team and know your players and establish that relationship so that you know what kind of culture you want with them and what you want for your team.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media along with the Cedar Crest Field Hockey Program at?
Yeah, so our Cedar Crest field hockey page on Instagram is at Cedar Crest College FH, and we also have a Facebook page. So that's Cedar Crest Field Hockey.
Where can my listeners find you at on social media?
I don't have any social media.
Thank you again, Coach Nicole Sott, for your interview, and best of luck in your future at Cedar Crest College as a head field hockey coach.
Great. Thank you, Brandon.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach Nicole Sott, for your interview, and best of luck in your future.
Thank you, Brandon. Have a good day.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.